What's up, everybody? In this short video, I'm going to show you listing 68,000 items on eBay. Obviously, I already have the list, so that's why it's short, because the time-consuming part really is making this list, okay? I'm using Hydra Lister, and I just want to show you how simple it is once you do have a list of items. All I got to do, I just go one, and then I've opened up 7 different tabs of the batch lister, right? So I want to post, I can't post the whole list. I mean, I can, but it's just not ideal. You want to do it in batches in case one like fails. Hydra's actually really good with this. I do find that SKU lister isn't a viable batch lister yet. It probably will be. But at the moment, it simply can't handle large requests of information. So if you try and post more than a couple hundred items, it fails, which really sucks because I have to split everything up, right? So when it fails, unless everything fails, it's really easy to lose track of the items that you've added. So that's why I'm still using Hydra Lister. I still consider it worth paying for, just because it's so efficient. Like, look, it's already queued 9,000 items, right? And then this one's loading, etc., etc. All right, so we've queued 30,000 items, and gonna do the next batch. So I'm just doing a little bit under 10K. You can do more than 10K, but I find that a little bit under 10,000 seems to work pretty well. Hydra almost always notices it, and they all get entered, which is really, really important. So here we go. Look, we're almost done. Bum bum. Yeah, launch. You can do it? Okay. 2 more lists. Only 2 more lists. All right. And so this is a copy of the list, just so you know. And it's just easier if I have the list and then I just delete as I'm adding stuff, right? So by the end of it, we have gone through the entire list. And I'm actually going to redo that just on the off chance that I did not properly paste it, but it looks like I did. Mini sesame, cool. Launch. All right, guys. Well, that's it. In the duration of this video, we just listed about 60,000 items. So in reality, this is going to post between 40 and 50,000 items because some of these will error. Although in this situation, all of these items have already been posted on a test account, and this list is a direct export of the items that were successfully posted on that other account. So I know that Hydra's probably going to post most of these, whereas typically you're going to get a bigger error rate. Whereas with this list, because I've already posted all these through Hydra, and this is an export minus everything that failed, it's probably almost all going to go through, right? So what's going to happen now is as these all get added into the queue, we could go and once they're all done, we could click on item list here. And now it's going to take forever to load because Hydra is currently trying to do all of these things. So one thing that you can do to work around it is to just look in a different internet browser. So we're going to go to Hydra Lister. And I believe this is because when you're using a different browser, you have some kind of different link, even though you're using the same Hydra account. I really don't know how to explain it, but you'll see in a second that when I use a different browser, I can browse through Hydra and edit my settings and all sorts of stuff while it's currently chugging over here, right? I clicked on item list and it still hasn't loaded it. Whereas it just loaded this main page, and if I click on item list, then it loads it straight away, right? So that's a good trick if you want to look at what's currently happening in another internet browser, right? And so now you can see that there are 98,000 entries. So it hasn't entered everything yet because originally the store is 50,000 items, right? And we're trying to get it to 100,000. So theoretically, as we refresh this page, this number should go up. So if I wait 98,000, click refresh. Yeah, now it's 102,000, right? I don't know what this filtered thing means. It's kind of weird. But so that's all there is to it. It's really, really simple. And this is kind of why I love bulk, is because I know that all of this can be done with software. You can fully automate the entire process. And that is super, super appealing when it comes to like long-term viability and scalability, especially because it is hard to be profitable in the beginning with bulk. There's a really high barrier of entry compared to all other dropshipping methods. So it's likely that it's not going to be a competitive format for business just because it doesn't really make sense for most people. Whereas for me, it is perfect and I love it. It's thrilling. It gives me stuff to make YouTube videos about, and it gives me big bills that I have to pay. So that forces me to step out of my comfort zone and earn more money, because otherwise I would just be happy and not necessarily push myself as much. So for me, it's perfect because it challenges me and I love it. But the reality is that that's not how most people work, right? All right, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you. Oh, and if you're interested in this kind of stuff, I do have a course about dropshipping. You can see it in the description. It's $20 on Udemy. I will tell you that it isn't a bulk dropshipping course. It isn't about how to bulk dropship. It is about dropshipping in general, what the different strategies are, what people try and do, the different software, the emotions you're going to experience as a dropshipper, the things you're going to go through. It's about like the lifestyle of a dropshipper and arming you with the information necessary for that. It's not a step-by-step guide about how to bulk dropship. There is information about bulk dropshipping in the course, but I'm not trying to convince anybody to do dropshipping the way that I do, because it isn't right for most people. But dropshipping in general is right for a lot of people. So that's why I get exposed to tons and tons of information through my bulk dropshipping. And that teaches me things that are useful for other dropshippers, right? For other methods of dropshipping. A problematic item is a problematic item regardless of whether you're bulk or optimization. If you're trying to order the item and it's impossible to order, that's an issue. And you get to learn all of these things. And for me, because now I'm developing software for eBay, I can test huge amounts of data and learn and gather and kind of get a better understanding of how eBay systems work just by like running these tests, right? And so now everything's finished. We can see everything has been queued. So at this point, if we go into item list, we should be able to load it now, I believe, because all of this stuff is finished. Looks like it's still taking a little bit more time. Let's open it in. Oh, nope, there we go. It's good. So now 127,000, yay! All right, that's everything. That's the existing 60K plus this 60K. So we are golden. Now over the next like 4 or 5 days, Hydra Lister will post all of these items. Gold. Usually Hydra posts around 20,000 items per day. Depending on server load, it might be more, it might be less, but yeah, I think it's a really easy tool to use. So see you guys next time. Ciao. I just cut the video. Whoa, that's weird. I know I just said goodbye and the video kept going, but that's because something unexpected happened. And Hydra actually finished posting all of these within like 24 hours. It posted 50,000 items. This is a bit unusual. It's not normally this fast. So I guess this means at the moment there's less server load. I'm not sure, but I figured I would add to this video just to show you. Like, you saw what I just did earlier, adding all those lists. And now you can, if you look down here, you can see what time it is and what day it is. This is literally the day after I recorded the video, right? And look at this. We have 104,000 items posted. Pretty wicked. I just figured I'd add this just to show you that, I did actually get the items posted, because in the video before I just queued them into Hydra, and it's not as real unless I show you this part, right? And so one thing to note is that there's going to be like, 10,000 out of stock items. So originally I had like 7,000. So by adding these 50,000 items, of those 50,000 items, roughly 3,000 of them were out of stock. So I actually usually just delete out of stock items, especially when there's 10,000 of them right now. That's 10% of my store. That means that I could have 10,000 in-stock items, theoretically. But the reality is there's always going to be a portion of your store that's going out of stock. And when it comes to out of stocks, like say that you have 1,000 items out of stock, and then 3 days later you have 1,200 items, it's easy to mislead yourself and think that that means that you have 200 more items out of stock. But the reality is a couple hundred went out of stock and a couple hundred went in stock and a bunch changed, and you have 200 more items out of stock total, but the items that were out of stock fluctuate a lot. Like most of the time, if something goes out of stock, it doesn't come back in stock. But there's like 30, 40% of cases or whatever, I just made that number up, don't listen to that percentage, where the item does actually come back in stock. The item is much more likely to come back in stock if it's a major seller on the platform. Like it's an item that resells, it's got lots of reviews. If you see a lot of reviews, it's probably going to come back in stock unless it's been replaced by a newer model. Whereas if it's out of stock and nobody's ever bought the item, nobody's ever reviewed it, you can probably count that it's not coming back. All right? All right, now this is the real end of the video. See you guys next time, okay? Ciao.